Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. So I'm not doing a product pitch. I don't have some crazy slides. I actually have no slides. But today I want to talk to you about how, together with my two best friends, on top of a small bakery in North London, we actually launched the first ever government-backed NFT. So before I do that, I want to give you a bit of context and a bit of background about myself and how this story really came to happen. So I come from the world of traditional finance. I spent 3 years at Goldman Sachs. I was a quantitative trader there, working on building algorithmic trading solutions in the liquid markets. And it was in February of last year that one of my best friends, Isaac Camlish, who's now also my co-founder, he was working at Facebook at the time, and he moved over to the NFTs team at Instagram, working as a data scientist. So at the time, the space was really growing. Top Shot was becoming a huge thing with digital collectibles for NBA. And he rang me and said, look, this space is growing very, very quickly. We should probably take a look. So we started getting involved as collectors initially, probably the same way that a lot of people get involved in the NFT space, buying NFTs, selling NFTs, trading NFTs, and also getting involved in community. So speaking to people on Discord, on Twitter, and so on. And we started connecting with a lot of creators, a lot of people that wanted to put their artwork out there, to tap into Web3, the promise of decentralization, creator royalties, which are obviously a big debate right now. And we realized that a lot of them didn't have sufficient support or infrastructure for them to launch their own NFTs without knowing how to code or without having a significant amount of capital to support the coding. So we were developers ourselves. I probably spent 12 to 14 hours a day in my prior role just coding. So did Isaac at Facebook, at Instagram. At the time, our third co-founder, Nathan, well, he's now our co-founder, also joined us in helping creators launch their own NFT collections by just doing smart contracts for them, auditing code, helping them with their website, or whichever way possible. We also were speaking to collectors, people that are buying and minting NFTs, and they were telling us about their pain points as people that engage in the ecosystem, the high transaction fees, the competition against bots, malicious actors, and basically anything that makes the consumer experience when buying NFTs extremely poor. So we decided we'd like to create a platform that actually solves both of these problems. And that's how Fair.xyz was born in February of earlier this year. We created a platform that essentially enables creators to launch end-to-end NFT collections completely code-free with zero capital required, whilst at the same time ensuring that their collectors have access to the best possible minting experience without competing against bots or malicious actors. But it was a couple of weeks after we started the company that the war in Ukraine broke out. And seeing the impact of armed conflict on the life of innocent civilians, we knew we wanted to help in some way. So we were out at the pub one night, as all good stories go, and one of our friends, he'd read in the Financial Times that Ukraine was actually looking to raise funds for war relief through crypto. So he said, look, you should probably reach out and offer your help in some way, just see if you can do something. So we got to the office the next morning. At the time, we were pretty small. There was only 3 of us. We had very, 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 very basic infrastructure built for the platform yet. And we basically Googled the first government email we could find for Ukraine and sent them what was probably the coldest email I've sent in my life, saying, look, guys, we're a small company in London. We do NFTs. We're seeing that you guys want to do crypto, so let us know how we can help. Now, I think there's something quite interesting about these kind of approaches, because what we found out much later on was that a lot of companies similar to ours had the same idea of reaching out to help, but they thought they're probably already working with someone, they probably have their own developers, we're not big enough to do this, and so they never reached out. But what do you know? The Ukrainian government came back to us a couple of hours later saying, look, we'd love to chat. So we jump on a call with them, and just to contextualize this a little, we're working out of a crammed little office, 3 of us, on top of a bakery in North Finchley, in North London as well, speaking to all of a sudden these Ukrainian government officials that are telling us about this idea they have of actually launching an NFT collection. The idea behind the collection itself was quite simple, but actually it was beautiful. They wanted to immortalize the different moments of the war, different events, different parts of the timeline of what was happening between Ukraine and Russia through artwork. and leveraging the immutability of the blockchain to essentially ensure that this memory of the war, this timeline of the war, is there forever. They called it MetaHistory's Warline. But they had two problems in launching this NFT collection. The first one was that having bigger fish to fry, they didn't have a team of developers that could work with them. And the second problem that they had was that, okay, let's assume that they do get a team of developers to work with them. It's actually very likely that Russia will bot the sale. So from our perspective, this was exactly the scenario we'd envisioned as a way of helping a creator. We had someone who wanted to launch an NFT collection, but didn't have the necessary infrastructure or developers to do so. And at the same time, they wanted to protect themselves from a suboptimal minting experience. The idea of a sale getting botted, a website going down, high transaction fees, or anything that could really intervene in the sale and basically making sure that it didn't go ahead. So we gave them our proposal. We said that this is exactly what we're building right now. And they came back to us a couple of hours later saying that we were on. The weeks that followed were quite surreal from our perspective. Mind you, we were still a team of 3. We actually expanded to 4 for the purposes of the sale. And we were having all these secretive meetings with Ukrainian government officials, marketing experts to help us expand the reach of the collection, which hadn't launched yet. We were speaking to Ukrainian white hat hackers who were attacking our website daily to ensure that we were robust enough to sustain a Russian attack. All of a sudden, Forbes picks up on the story. And now we start getting real media attention. We're seeing articles coming day in and day out talking about MetaHistory, Warline, and how Fair.xyz is going to launch this collection with the Ukrainian government, the first ever government-backed NFT. We start getting a bit nervous at this point. We start receiving hundreds of emails every single day from anywhere from like a bit of support saying, we love you guys, thanks so much for doing this for our country, all the way to, look, I'm an observer on the sidelines, but I'll be supporting, all the way to, we're going to go kill you because you're not supporting Russia in this, which was obviously a bit scary when you're a small company, or I guess even if you're a large company, no one likes getting death threats. Anyway, the day of the sale comes about, and we had these 2 large screens in the office, definitely not as big as these, but you can imagine screen here and a screen here. On the first screen, we had how many sales, how many NFTs were getting minted through the platform. On the second screen, we had how many requests are coming to our server and how many of them is our algorithm deeming to be malicious. So the sale starts and things are going smoothly. We see 10 NFTs minted, 100 NFTs minted, 200, 300. It's going great. We've raised a few $1,000s at this point. And we see our server requests also, they're going up as expected, right? We're hitting 100,000 requests, which makes sense. A lot of people are visiting the website. They don't intend to buy. 500,000 requests, 1 million requests. All of a sudden, on Telegram, we receive a message from the team over at Ukraine that was helping us with this, saying, hey guys, so they'd done their own website for the launch to promote it a bit. They say, hey guys, our website's just gone down, we're getting attacked. At this point, we start getting very scared. And mind you, just to remind you, we had this little chart that was telling us how many requests our website was hitting every single second. And all of a sudden it hits 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. Our algorithm kicks in, it starts classifying them as malicious. Usually when these things happen, it gets quite scary. On that day, we got attacked by Russia left, right, and center. We sustained 20 billion malicious requests coming from Russia against our platform. But I'm happy to say that our anti-bot system did work, and we actually sustained the whole sale without a single second of downtime, and more importantly, being able to raise just under $1 million for the Ukrainian government in a matter of a few hours, which was really cool. Today, Fair.xyz is leveraging the same technology that we handed to the Ukrainian government to any creator. Anyone can come on our platform and launch their own NFT collection in a matter of minutes, whilst ensuring that their collectors get access to the best minting experience. We survived a Russia botting attack. We're confident we can survive smaller botting attacks as well. We believe that the creator economy is flourishing again through the empowerment that NFTs provide. The idea of decentralized ownership, the idea of royalty payments, and the idea of having true ownership over one's digital property and persona. So Fair.xyz is here to power the next generation of the creator economy. Thank you very much. Cool.
My man, well done, Zach. How are you feeling, all right?
Yeah, well, good. Thank you very much.
Have you had a good conference?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Some great panelists so far, which has been really cool. Obviously, state of the market right now, it's good to see so many people still, vibing with crypto, still involved, still in the space. So, yeah, cool stuff.
Do you want to know what I think?
Tell me.
I think it's a fucking great time to buy crypto.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you why it's a great time to buy crypto. Because if you've done your work and you have conviction,
100%.
right? Irrespective, if you're looking at it as a generational hold, then for me, anytime there is an event-driven de-risking and liquidation, fundamentally everything is still working perfectly. It's people that got margin called. So if the price action is negative, that's a great time to buy.
Yeah,
and by the way, this is financial device.
This is? I'm going to tell you something like, when we started the company, it was, we went to do a raise of VC fund, we went to do VC funding.
Okay.
And the last check we got, which was also the last check they ever gave out, was from 3 Arrows Capital.
Uh-oh.
So obviously, you start a company, you kind of get that experience of one of the biggest players going under.
Okay.
It's quite scary.
So that's interesting. So what happens when 3 Arrows Capital make an investment in you, and then they essentially become defunct? What happens?
From our perspective, nothing.
Should we just give out their position to everybody that's here today? Can we tokenize their position and give it out to people?
I think you have to speak to the liquidators for that. But yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
No, look,
I think the liquidators are going to want to have first dibs on that.
Yeah,
because I know you're going to kill it.
I appreciate it. No, look, I think it's an interesting market for sure. One of the things in crypto, and I'm sure a lot of you here have definitely been in the space for way longer than I have. I've been an observer for maybe 6 or 7 years, more or less involved for the past 4 years, full-time for the past year. You've definitely seen kind of like down markets a lot more than I have, but something that I've always heard is the idea of keep building. So this is our core thesis right now. We're going to keep building, bull market, bear market. We know that the infrastructure is good. We know blockchain is good. We know that it's going to get mainstream adoption. So.
You're absolutely speaking the truth, and we had Max from Liscon earlier on. He's been in crypto for 10 years, and he said the exact thing.
Absolutely.
Just keep on building because it's not going anywhere. And actually, it's all about staying in the game, right?
100%.
Coming up with new ways, having a focus on where it's going, having your North Star, but certainly showing up. And I think events like TOKEN2049 in London represent what we're all about, and it gives us the chance to meet and connect, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look around the room, it's full of innovation. People are still building, people are still deploying, and I think that's one of the most exciting things to look forward to. So,
dude, it's been awesome to meet you. Thank you so much.